Views, opinions, and statements expressed in the following program reflect the views of the program contributors and do not necessarily reflect the views of AAA Broadcasting, LLC, and its management or its sponsors.
Own sweet home, own sweet home. I dream of my own sweet home. Right here, right now. Amit Inamdar will show you how. Call Amit and you are set. Or just visit ownsweethome.net.
DRE license number 013555522 and NMLS number 236574. Have you joined the Happily Ever After Club?
Happily Ever After Club?
Happily Ever After Club. Membership is automatic once you buy your dream home from Amit Inamdar. He is both real estate and mortgage broker. One stop, no need to shop.
Oh, Amit Inamdar from Own Sweet Home.
Yes, that's Amit from OWN Own Sweet Home. Call him today, 510-364-6686. Again, 510-364-6686. Or visit ownsweethome.net. That is ownsweethome.net. DRE number 013555522 and MLS 236574.
Hello, namaste and welcome Radio Zindagi listeners. I'm RJ Renuka and today we have another exciting show. Power Hour with Amit Inamdar. You are going to get the power-packed 30 minutes of information on bidding war for your new home. We always welcome you to call us at 510-770-1550 to ask a question on the radio. However, if you are unable to get in, you can always submit a question for a personal response. Just go to Amit's website, ownsweethome.net, and click on the radio show link to submit your question. And you can always find Amit Inamdar by searching his name on Google. Hello, Amit, and welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you, Renuka. Hello, friends. Own Sweet Home, and welcome to my show, Power Hour with me, nobody but Amit Inamdar. Last week, we talked about the low market inventory and appealed to sellers to come out of their homes to make a move to their next home. So whether you are upgrading or buying a first home, this housing market has unique challenges. The bidding wars are everywhere in the Bay Area as long as the property is priced correctly for its condition. Overpriced properties are staying on the market longer. However, those properties where you must enter the bidding war, you need to be equipped with the right ammunition. And today, we are focused on winning the bidding wars.
Of course, friends, low inventory and higher demand means bidding wars on the desirable properties. For the Bay Area markets, bidding wars are not new. The vibrant economy, high-end job markets, wasted stock options for large down payments, and the great weather create a perfect storm in the rising housing markets. So these bidding wars break the buyer's budget and fatten the seller's pockets. So Amit, how does one prepare for this bidding war?
Hey, thank you, Renuka, for pointing out the perfect storm conditions that lead to the bidding wars. All the conditions you mentioned lead to population growth, and the population growth creates more demand for housing, both rental and buying. As we see here in the Bay Area, we have both rents and the home prices rising. And remember, Bay Area has limited land that puts a damper on the supply side of the equation, creating the right conditions for the markets to rise. Definitely. The higher demand for the Bay Area housing market leads to bidding wars combined with this short supply. So to win the bidding war, you need to be equipped with information and documentation that is going to make the sellers comfortable about your offer. One of the fears sellers have is they selecting a buyer and their property coming back on the market for sale because buyer backs out due to buyer's own default.
So listeners, we are talking about today on how to win a bidding war on your new home. If you need to get in touch, 510-770-1550, 510-770-1550. So Amit, you talked about how the sellers have plans for the money they get from the proceeds of the sale. Last week we talked about it. So their plans get disturbed if the buyer backs out. So they may include their own move to another home, maybe a wedding in the family, or a trip around the world with the money that the proceeds from the home sale. And buyers may not know about it, and selecting a wrong buyer may derail all these plans. So what does buyer need to do here?
First and foremost, Renuka, it's getting your finances in order. Are the funds for the down payment liquid? Ask yourself that. Have the long-term certificates of deposits matured? If not, are you willing to take a penalty for early withdrawal? Have you liquidated your stocks or foreign currency accounts? I had a couple of buyers last year who had invested money in India, about $50,000 to $60,000 equivalent, who chose not to bring the money at that time until they found the right home. Reason was they were earning 10% interest in this money in India. However, the Indian rupee slipped from 48 rupees a dollar to 68 rupees a dollar, dropping their dollar account value by 40%. That's 4 years of gains just wiped out.
I can see how that will ruin the home buying dream. So what happened to those buyers, Amit?
Of course, like everyone, they thought they will wait to enter the housing market. Then after a long discussion with me, they realized the waiting game just going to hurt them with increasing housing prices. We had to use a no mortgage insurance, low down payment program to get them into the home. Since I do both loans and real estate, when the seller's agent calls me about the offer we had written, or they called me specifically in this particular situation, I convinced her and her client that how strong my buyer was, both emotionally and financially, about buying their home, and their loan was not an issue. Many times sellers agents do not call the loan agents about the buyer because a lot of sellers agents don't know what questions to ask. With me, they always call me because I'm buyer's agent and get confidence about my buyer's financial ability because I'm also doing their loan. So I get an advantage over other agents that I get to convince the other party about my buyer's ability to buy the home. Additionally, these sellers and the seller's agent get the peace of mind that the deal will close, as I have a lot more vested in the deal with the buyer I'm representing on both loans and real estate.
So Radio Zindagi listeners, if you need to call Amit, if you have any questions regarding real estate or loans, studio number 510-770-1550, 510-770-1550. The market has very low inventory. Bidding is causing the home prices to rise. Whether you are a buyer or a seller, do you know how you must prepare and evaluate your offers? When Amit works with buyers, he will pre-approve their loan in advance. This not only helps buyers but also helps sellers. If you are planning to sell, all you need is one qualified buyer to buy your home. Amit has already pre-approved these buyers. So whether you want to sell in open market using Amit's proven marketing methods or want to do a silent market sale, you can call Amit directly at 510-364-6686. You can also visit his website ownsweethome.net, that is OWN, ownsweethome.net. If you forget these numbers, hey, you know what to do. Just Google Amit Inamdar, real estate broker, and you will know ways to find him. So Amit, we have been talking about the bidding wars. Let's continue our discussion on the bidding wars.
Sure. Before I jump into the details of every aspect, let me first summarize all aspects of bidding war. First thing to remember when you are in a bidding war, that you are not bidding on the property. I get a question asked, hey, how much should I bid on this property? No, you're not bidding on the property. When you are in the bidding war, other buyers. Okay, so your goal is not only to outbid the other buyers, but also in terms of price, but also in terms of terms, and giving the seller the needed comfort level on both the aspects. Outbidding the other requires that you trust the judgment of your agent, like me, or learn the market dynamics yourself. The latter means you are going to pay a high price for learning as the prices rise. Secondly, you must have loan pre-approval, where someone like me has reviewed all your financials, your creditworthiness, and figured out possible risk management strategies in case the appraisal or any other objections lender may have with your loan application.
So listeners, cost of learning the fast rising real estate market is huge. You may pay extra $50,000 to $100,000 if you want to learn the market on your own. Also, even with perfect credit score, the loan application is not perfect. Employment verification, rent verification, analyzing your tax returns, the losses on business ownership, Schedule E losses and expenses, unreimbursed employee expenses all come into play when analyzing the loan. With Amit's list of over 100 plus mortgage lenders, it is critical to find a lender that matches your credit scenario. Isn't that true, Amit?
Yes, and all that is true, Renuka. And additionally, you must have the property-specific loan qualification too. For example, the HOA complexes like the condominiums or townhomes or single-family homes having HOAs, they have if they have a high renter ratio or renter to owner ratio, or if the property is a flip property, you need special lenders to get the loan. And having a portfolio of many lenders who specialize in various kinds of loan and property scenarios is always a benefit to my buyers and sellers. So far, we talked about having liquid funds, having loan pre-approval along with backup plans for specific credit scenario, and learning the market or to be the fast learning curve by working with me. You can always view the first time homebuyer webinar on my website and learn about current real estate market conditions.
So listeners, if you have any questions regarding real estate or loans, our studio line is 510-770-1550. 510-770-1550. We are going to take a short break and come right back.
Own sweet home, own sweet home. I dream of my own sweet home. Right here, right now. Amit Inamdar will show you how. Call Amit and you are set. Or just visit ownsweethome.net.
DRE license number 013555522 and NMLS number 236574.
Welcome back, friends. This is Amit Inamdar. And if you are in the market to sell, buy, or finance your home, you will get unbiased advice that will save you money. And that's my promise to you. To get hold of me, just Google my name, Amit Inamdar, real estate broker, and you will know ways to find me. Having all your questions answered at one location and by one person means saving time, money, and having peace of mind that you are cared for by someone like me who knows this business. Today we are talking about the bidding wars, and looks like we have a caller. Welcome. Welcome on the show. Looks like the phone got disconnected. All right.
So Amit, we were talking about the bidding war, winning the bidding war in this crazy market. What other financial aspects one should consider?
Yeah, in addition to the pre-approval, which kind of gets overdone a lot of times, sometimes it is advisable to have your complete loan application done and then have it run through the automated underwriting system, like what the Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac have. And I have an ability to do so. So what I do is I run your application through that, and this underwriting level approval shows that you are a qualified buyer under certain conditions. And as long as the conditions that this automated underwriting system comes up with, those are doable and those are easy and executable, you know that loan is basically going to get approved and you are a step ahead of other competing buyers. Additionally, one may put higher than customary initial deposit to impress the sellers. However, once you do so, just make sure you perform to contract deadlines so you do not lose your deposit.
So, and by contract deadlines, you mean the contingencies and the close of escrow, right?
Right, yes. And that's another aspect in the bidding war, you have to walk the talk. I mean, if you say you are going to complete certain actions in the contract in certain number of days, you have to kind of do that on time. Even before that, even before you actually get into contract, you need to have a sweet talk, and where you have to kind of say, hey, Mr. Seller, I really like your property. I'm going to have very low contingency period or maybe no contingency period. depending on what information is available on the home. So whether these contingencies are related to loan, they are related to appraisal, seller disclosures or inspection reports, or maybe the common area rules and regulations, you have to kind of evaluate those and say, hey, am I going to take the right amount of risk by removing these contingencies? And sometimes you may have great terms to offer, like no contingencies whatsoever. However, your price may be so low that you are not even in the game for making an offer. Your offer is great in terms of terms, but it's not meeting the minimum price criteria even to kind of consider among the top bidders. So as I said before, it's not about the bidding on the property as much as it is about bidding against other buyers.
So listeners, if you want to learn about current market and home buying, you can view the first time home buyer webinar. It is available on Amit's website, ownsweethome.net. That is OWNsweethome.net. If you are a first-time home buyer or just want to feel comfortable with the home buying process, do visit his website and listen to the recorded webinar. This will not only give you the overview of the home buying process, it will also pre-qualify you, let you know about how one goes about the neighborhood selections, school selections, etc. The link is located as an image on the left column. You cannot miss it on his website. If you do not remember the website, you know what to do. Just Google Amit Inamdar, real estate broker, and you will get to his website. After you have viewed the webinar, all your questions may have been answered and you will have new questions. This is when you can have a one-on-one meeting with Amit for your pre-approval and neighborhood selection. This will make you ready for the bidding wars.
Yes, and the webinar is a really great resource for everyone. It will prepare you and educate you for the market. You will be ahead of other buyers knowing the market dynamics, the market history, the contract negotiations. All these topics are covered in this webinar. For buyers who are upgrading their home and must sell their home to buy another, I have a unique way of structuring the contract where you don't need to have a contingency to sell your current home and still buy the other, even though you need the money from that. It's just a way of really structuring the contract in a proper way. We can do this in many cases in this market. Just call me and I'll show you how you can buy a new home without having to be contingent upon selling your current home. Sometimes when you want to sell your home and buy another, the bidding process takes a special meaning and requires creative way to present the offer.
So listeners, if you want to get hold of Amit, studio line 510-770-1550, 770-1550. And as Amit said earlier, whether you want to buy, sell or finance, you will get unbiased comprehensive advice from Amit Inamdar, and that is his promise to you. So if you are in the market to buy, sell or finance, just give Amit a call at his cell phone number 510-364-6686. He will ask you many thought-provoking questions that will clarify your needs, wants and values. Once your values are clear, decisions are easy. Additionally, you can find an archive of Power Hour radio show on Amit's website, ownsweethome.net, that is OWNsweethome.net, under the video section.
So last week I got a visit from a buyer who had lost 7 homes in a multiple offer scenario. He was blaming his agent for not being educated on the market, not advising properly, and so on. I asked him not to jump to conclusion and asked him what does he know about the risk management in this real estate contracts and real estate markets, and whether he was fully prepared to bid against the other buyers and so on. After about 20 minutes of discussion, the buyer realized that he does not have enough knowledge of the marketplace, and he had thought that he actually did have that. And irrespective of whether his agent helped him or not, he is not prepared for the market and to act accordingly. He later went through the webinar, learned a lot more, and now he feels comfortable with this market.
Yes, the bidding wars require a lot of preparations, education, and action.
Yes, and the action means it's a fast action. You can't just wait around to see what happens. I'm very diligent and aggressive in collecting as much information about the property and if possible about the sellers to help buyers position themselves. Because more information you have, more negotiations advantage you get. So what I'm observing is there are no second chances in these bidding wars. You know, when we had this market rise up 2004, 2005, 2006, we used to like give counter to these top buyers. I mean, if we had 20 offers and the 5 buyers were looking really good, we gave like counter to these 5 buyers, and then those 5 buyers kind of bid again above that countered offer and kind of went on the top of that. So it was like a nice game in a way, and the buyers actually learned about the market. They know what was happening. But currently that's not the case. You know, you write an offer and the sellers basically just accept the one top offer and that's it. And you sometimes get more information from the seller's agent, sometimes you don't, and you have to wait until the house closes to really figure out what went wrong. So this market is different. And you know what caused this market to be like this? I mean, why agents are not playing this offering this another counter game is because of a lot of REOs property, bank-owned properties that came on the market in the last 2-3 years. And if you look at those properties who came on the market, the asset manager was managing like couple hundred properties at any given time, and he had no time countering people with these offers. And so he said, oh, please send me your highest and best offer. And that's what people did. And the agents kind of learned from that technique and said, oh, we just give us the highest and best. And that's what the market is right now. And you got to adapt to that. I mean, that's how it is, and you got to figure out how you can write your highest and best. I was just talking to another client of mine today, and we actually lost a bid on one of the houses. I mean, it's not like we lost it by much, maybe a little, based on my conversation with the listing agent. But what I told him is like, hey, you know, when we play basketball, you know, we are kind of throwing the ball and we kind of aim towards the rim end, which is towards us, and we always we aim at the hole, but we always hit the rim and the ball kind of bounces back. But if you actually aim at the other end of the rim, the ball actually goes through. So I said, you know, just go little beyond your comfort zone, you know, when you're bidding, little beyond your comfort zone, and that will make a lot of difference.
So no longer wine bottles, flower bouquets, or chocolates to the sailors. You know, those were the days. I remember 2004,
I know.
6,
I mean, it's like that was the case. I mean, of course, I mean, we do write very personalized letters on behalf of our buyers when we know what seller likes and how to actually approach the seller. I mean, we may give them a gift if required based on what we see in their home and what they like, and that was the case when you could actually get a counter back from them. But here you're not even getting a counter. I mean, a couple of times we tried that, and I mean, the buyer didn't even get any response back, and buyer was pretty unhappy about like spending money on some of the gifts. But anyway, at the end of the day, you still have to kind of find ways to connect with the seller, you know.
So, Amit, going back to contingencies, what contingencies are must and which ones can be removed upfront?
Okay, that depends on the property condition report. Okay, and I mean, just to complete our bidding war process, you know, you have to know what's known about the property. You have to get some insight into the property. If there are no reports, it's very difficult to make a blind offer. One of my top worries is the mold in the property, which you don't kind of see it a lot of times, you know, but the mold may cause damages up to like 10. And you just have to kind of make sure that you're not kind of running into some kind of a heavy duty problems with the house. The termite report, the property and roof reports may tell you your general condition about the property, repair estimates, and you can do some level of risk assessments in your offer price. If none or some reports are available, then you may want to get your inspectors on the call. Since you do not want to remove these contingencies, make sure the inspectors are available to inspect the property on days' notice if required. Loan contingency can be removed if all financing paperwork is in order. Appraisal is a bit tricky. most of the times, knowing how appraisals are done and how we price the property, I can come up with the range of appraised values. However, other times the appraisal who are not from the area may end up bringing surprising results, sometimes way high, sometimes too low. So in all, the contingency removal is a risk management game. When I sit down with the buyers, I point out the risks and see if the buyer is able to digest them. When I'm representing the seller, I select the buyer who can manage risk based on the information provided and the investigations that I do by calling the buyer's agent and their loan agent to understand about it.
So thank you, Amit, for the wonderful show. Before we leave, want to let you know about your listing in Arvington. This is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath property with large entertainment area, all hardwood floors. Property is vacant and very nicely staged. All good schools, Harvey Green Elementary, Horner Junior High and Arvington High School. This is a good starter home and also a great home for those who think Warm Springs prices have gone up too high. Come by next week or call him or have your agent call him for details. All property details will be available on Amit's website on Tuesday next week.
Thank you, listeners. So do call me about the upcoming listing in the Arvington School District. This is one of the nicer homes in the neighborhood. You have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you next week. Now I'm off to getting ready for my most exciting time, the weekend. Thank you again.
Own sweet home, own sweet home. I dream of my own sweet home. Right here, right now. Amit Inamdar will show you how. Call Amit and you are set. Or just visit ownsweethome.net.
DRE license number 013555522 and NMLS number 236574.
The views, opinions, and statements expressed in the preceding program reflect the views of the program contributors and do not necessarily reflect the views of AAA Broadcasting LLC and its management or its sponsors.